Well, good morning. Welcome to another video on the channel. Bit of a late start today, I must admit. It's been so manic at work. I literally set my alarm for 10 to 7 this morning because it's still dark at that time, at this time of year. And I ended up getting up at 7:30. I just kept snoozing it. Oh, so tired. But needs must, and I'm on my way to Frobury Farm, which I haven't fished for a considerable time. But I've heard many people saying that in one of the lakes, or actually more than one lake, there is some massive perch. So I thought I'd give it a go, see what I can catch. I mean, I'm fishing, I think it's called the Twin Island Lake, I'm not sure. It's one of the smaller sort of match lakes that they've got there. It's not one of the specimen lakes, which I fished on the last time I was there. I think I fished did I fish the bottom? I think I fished the bottom specimen lake last time I was there, for carp, obviously. So this is my first time, I think, fishing for anything else but carp at this venue. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've got a feeder set up and a float set up with me. And, yeah, we'll just see what happens. I've got some maggots, I've got some worms. Who knows? Who knows? I could catch absolutely nothing. It's pretty cold. Well, it's 5 degrees outside at the moment, which isn't Baltic, to be fair. But it's cold enough. So, let's see what we can catch. Well, I'm just setting up all the kit. Just found out that the food shack, the snack shack that's around there, isn't open today. I didn't bring any food with me. Gutted. Let's get the kit sorted and see how we get on. I could always shoot off and get something if I need to. Right. Let's plumb the depth. Right. So she's all plumbed up. She've pinged a few maggots out. Sticking a couple on the hook. We'll go 2 for now. So I'm using very simple float rod, fixed spool reel. And we've got a insert type waggler. It's about 3 foot deep. I'm fishing it just over dead depth. And that's not where I want it to go at all. Let's see if we can get it in the right place. There we go. Lovely jubbly. I'm not really sure what's in here. People have said there's big perch in here. According to the website, there's loads of small carp in here as well. We'll see what happens. Could catch absolutely nothing. Let's hope for something. It is very convenient fishing here, let's put it that way. This is how far away the car is from me. It's literally right behind me, which is quite handy. in some senses, but let's hope for some fish. Well, I have a fish on. Ooh. Whack the tripod. Not a perch, but it is a lovely little rudd. Beautiful little fish. Let's slip it back. Right, so saw some fish kind of topping or moving to my right, so I just chucked it over there. And there does seem to be, ooh, God, what's it doing? Oh, the fingers all tangled. Crikey. There we are. Tiny little rudd. But at least it's a fish. I'll get a couple of these maybe. Then we'll go back in the edge. Well, I was just about to say, there's plenty of rudd down there. But that ain't no rudd. That's what I'm here for. It's just about 2 or 3 pounds too small. Whilst I'm playing about for the rudd, I'm still baiting the margin spot to my left. Just so hopefully something will turn up. There's another lovely little rudd. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, these fish are freezing to touch. Oh, it's wet and slimy. Really do enjoy this type of fishing. Not here what I'm for, or it's not what I'm here to do or catch. But it's so much fun. It's always nice to get bites in the winter when it's pretty cold. No matter what the species. Yes, here we go. Miss your rudd. They are stunning fish. Look at those red fins. Absolutely beautiful. Lovely. Oh, that'll come off. I think I'll go back in the margins in a minute. I'll stick a worm on and see if we can't tempt something a bit bigger. At least I've always got the rudd fishing to fall back on, as there's a fair few of those in here, it seems. I'll give it 5 more minutes. Then I'll continue for a big perch. was a really nice rod. Really nice. Okay, last cast for the rod. Then we'll go back for the big perch. Oh, I must admit, I'm gutted there's no food. I'm absolutely starving already. I was looking forward to a nice sausage and bacon baguette this morning. It doesn't look very busy at the moment. I don't think there's many people on the specimen lake behind me. So if I can't get anything here in a couple of hours, I may move on there. There's big perch in there too. Oh. Let's see how we get on here first. Alright, that's enough rudding. Stick on a nice dendrobina. I'm going to tip it with a maggot as well. Lovely, lovely. Let's go back to the margin spot. See if a big old perch comes along. Oh, I'm not going to touch on the worms. Absolutely nothing. I'm going to go back over to the maggots. I'm going to go 3 maggots now. Oh, I might have to put my jacket on in a minute. It's freezing cold now. Little robins keep flying around, nicking my maggots out of the pot down here. It's just nice to be out, to be fair. And I haven't blanked, so that's good. Taking a little wander to have a little look. There's another match lake behind me here, which is the Rickety Bridge lake. So got that Rickety Bridge to my left, and I have the specimen lake to my right. There's no one fishing on the specimen lake at all, I don't think. So that's the specimen lake over here. I'm just seeing if there's a nice looking swim for float fishing. And may move up here. But I'd like a nice margin if I can. Looks quite deep in the edges, to be fair. Which could be good. Now, Frobury Farm is, I think, special to me is a weird way of putting it, but years and years ago when I was a wee nipper, this was one of the first places that I ever went fishing. I used to get my mum to drop me down here, or my dad, And I used to carp fish. One of the first places that I started actually carp fishing sort of properly, in inverted commas. And it's also the first place I ever caught, well, the first place that I caught my first double-figured carp. Then I caught two. I caught like a 9-pound 12, I think it was, and then a 10-pound something, and then an 11-pound something. So, as you can imagine, a young boy, I was absolutely ecstatic. So I'm just walking around to that very swim where I caught those from all those years ago. I'm trying to think how long that was now. 25 years ago, something like that. And looks like it's actually been quite pruned recently. It's had its winter haircut. So yeah, so it's here. So it's these reeds along here. That was where I was, and this is the swim. This very swim here is where I used to always fish. Then fish along this margin here, and that's where I caught them from. Oh, it's so cold. My hands are blooming freezing. Oh. No, they've actually called this. This used to be down here. So where you've got here, the creek. So years ago, well, donkeys years ago, when I used to come down here, we used to fish in here thinking we wasn't allowed. We was being a bit naughty. We used to catch some little tench and some little crucians, I think it was back then, down here. I mean, it doesn't look overly fishable, to be fair. I don't think anyone's fished it for a while by the look of it. But there is a bit of water down there. Right, I think I'm going to head back to the car. Maybe move the kit onto this specimen lake and have a go on there for a little while. See if anything comes out. Alright, so I've moved swims. Or moved lakes, actually. So I'm on like one of the first swims, I think, on the corner of Lake 6 now. Which is the specimen lake. It's where carp to over 30 pound are, I believe. And also perch to over 3. So, hopefully we get something out of here. But this wind is so cold, my hands are freezing. Didn't bring any gloves with me, stupidly. I'm going to fish probably a rod length out from the margins to my left, because I can see the shelf now that I'm sat in here. I can see there's a slight shelf. So I want to see if I can fish the bottom of that. So I'm going to plumb up again. It's all very important. Every time you move lakes or move swims, that you replumb every time, because the chances of it being exactly the same is quite slim. So let's do that. Put a bit of bait in and see what happens. Well, the owner just came round and took the moolah, and he said there are big perch in here. There are not many, but there are big perch in here. You know, perch that well over 3 pound have come out of here in the past. But most of the big perch that get caught actually get put into Lake 1, which is a very, very small lake. At the right at the beginning, I think he said it was Lake 1 anyway. So we'll give it a little bit longer here, and then I'll move around to there. He did also say there's some nice tench and there's some big carp in there as well. And I didn't realise it was the same price for 1 rod and 2 rod. So here's me using just one, thinking I saved myself a couple of quid. But I didn't. So when we go over there, I think I'll float fish and then get the feeder rod out. Probably stick it on an alarm, although it's set up with a quiver tip on. It'll look a bit weird. Might have a walk over there, just have a little look in a minute. And then come up with a plan. God, all this stuff around all the time. I might need to drive the car down there, I don't know yet. I'll go and have a look in a minute. Right. I think that's given it long enough. Then I'm going to take my chair, I'm going to go and have a rod, go and have a wander around to Lake One. Find a suitable spot, I think, and then move the rest of the stuff around. Then that'll be it. I'm not going to move anymore. We'll set up, find a decent swim. There's only going to be me on the lake, there's no one else fishing it. And then we'll go from there. Hopefully something comes along. It's not something you see every day on a fishing lake. Okay, so swim 3? No? Yes, swim and lake 3. Well, fishing on lake 1, but it's third time I've moved. So it's a very awkward little swim, which is why I chose it. Because it looks decent. So I'm going with the feeder rod. I think I might go straight ahead to the island with that one. I'm not going to put any ground bait or anything on it yet. Just going to stick a worm on. Actually no, I'm going to stick a few maggots on. It's very, very awkward to use because the stage here is loads of concrete. So the bank sticks have gone in about an inch. So hopefully they hold in place, and they are sort of behind me almost, so not exactly simple to grab it if it goes off quickly. Alright, I'm putting loads of maggots on that. On a size 12, I think this one is. It's about 6-7 maggots or so. So, standard feeder rod, my old trusty feeder, with a little feeder reel. Oh, it's a bit. It's okay. Alright, I'm going to chuck this out. Try and get it on the alarm. It's in place. Right, now let's plumb up again for this one. And I'm going to fish this in the margins to my right. There is peacocks everywhere here. There's 4 over there. There is another 3 walking towards me over there. There's a whole lot of peacocks. Very random. Right, I'm going to go about there. I mean, what I said earlier about it's very slim, that it's going to be the same depth on different lakes. That's exactly, that's dead depth where that is. The old peacocks are coming to join me. Swing this round and you can see them. Very random. But it's something different. I'm going to start with just maggots. No, I won't. I'll stick a worm on. I mean business. 7 lakes here at Frobury Farm, catering for most species that you want to catch, all the way from little tiddlers, rudd, roach, up on the tiddler pond at the top, all the way to specimen carp of over 30 pounds from the specimen lake. Now, the carp fishing here in the summer and the warmer months can be very prolific, with the top lake and the specimen lake producing very, very well to most tactics. That's £10 a day for adults for 2 rods on all the lakes. Children are £5 for 1 rod, £10 for 2 rods. Now, as well as a huge amount of carp across the complex, ranging from a couple of pound to over 30, there is also some very big perch. Now, Lake 6 and Lake 1 are the 2 where they seem to frequent the most. Now, there is an on-site toilet, which is nice and clean, a couple of cubicles. They provide toilet roll, which is nice and very acceptable. Now, a lot of the swims are very disabled friendly, so you can drive around 95% of Lake 6 and park in your swim. And the top lake is also very similar. You can park around quite a lot of it, so it's very, very good. Less than an hour left now. Just chuck the feeder rod back out over to the left, but on the other side of the tree. Just switched over to maggots on the float, just to see if that's going to make a difference. Probably not, but you never know, might entice something, even if it is a smaller fish. Now, I've been feeding maggots, you know, a little pinch, 3 or 4 maggots every few minutes. So we'll give that a go for a little while. I'm also now feeding out maggots long, just pinging out a little pinch of maggots here and there. Just if nothing happens, in at least last 10 minutes or so, I'll go for some rudd. If there's rudd in here. We're on a different lake now, so I've got no idea. So I was just looking behind me because there was a peacock looking like it was going to try and grab something out of my bag. Oh, it's like a little zoo. So yeah, that's the plan for the last hour anyway, so let's see if we can winkle something out. Right, that's it. Let's try for a few rudd. Now, I have no idea if there is even rudd in here. I have seen a few fish topping in the distance, so let's just chuck that out and have a little go. Okay, so I nearly stood on my rod. We've seen a few fish jump over the other side, so I've come over with some maggots, the catapult and the rod. See if they are rudd. They could be anything. They could have been carp topping. I've also brought the feeder rod, so that sat next to me, just literally there on the other side of the camera, pointing down, or the line's almost coming back on itself right under a little bush. I thought, give that, whilst I'm doing this, just might as well leave that doing something. Let's see. Oh, see, there's one right there. Let's see if we can get the float where that came up. There we go. See if there's any rudd out there. There we go, straight away, look at that. So I can confirm there is at least a rudd in here. There's only a little one, but he's magical to me. I think if we can get a few of these, then I'll call it a day. They're not the big perch I'm after, but they still warm the cockles. Well, that's all she wrote. It was a lovely day. Really, really nice and chill. Just what fishing should be. Had a fair few rudd, loads at the end, but no big perch. But never mind. There's always another go for those at another point. Just don't know when yet. I've got a lot of plans for my winter fishing, mainly including perch and pike, and possibly chub. But we'll see. Main problem at the moment is the rivers. I can't get on those at the moment at all. But an awesome day here at Frobury. Absolutely lovely. And I'll definitely be back. So thank you very much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe as always. And I'll catch you on the next one.